Hi, my name is Barb, and I'm really excited to be here today to show you this little card pouch that I made. What happened was I made a purse for the summer, and it's just a little purse. It didn't have room for a big, thick wallet or a long, skinny wallet. I needed something that I could put maybe a bill or two, a license, credit card, that wouldn't take up much room. So I came up with this little thing, and it works great. I can put a bill in the center. I have a spot for my license. This isn't my license here, of course, but that's where my license would go. I could put a credit card, an Air Miles card, bank card, Costco card, whatever is important for you for the day. Get 2 more cards in there. So a total of 3 cards and a bill, or instead of bills, you could put another couple cards in there. And it takes up no space. The really neat thing about this is you can use it also to hold a gift card as a gift. So you have a little pouch for a gift with a gift card inside, and you could put it in behind the window and they see right away what they're getting. So I really like that idea too. So I'm going to show you how to make this. It's really fussy to get it all lined up perfectly. I'm going to show you some tips to make your accuracy spot on. So here are 2 of the finished products right here. This one shows you that you can put an ID piece behind the window. You have 2 little spots here for cards, and you have the opening at the top for a bill or more cards, whichever you choose. So that's what it looks like finished up. This is the very first one I made. You can see that it's not as pretty, and that's because I used a contrasting thread, thinking I'd be smart and make it look nicer. Instead, I made it look worse because of the back tacking, the little mistakes trying to line up that corner. All those little mistakes are going to show vividly when you use a contrasting thread. So I highly recommend using a matching thread. So the first thing you're going to need, of course, is a pattern. And it comes on a cardstock, 1 page, and gives you your templates and all your instructions. The instructions are numbered, and they're going to coordinate with the numbers of steps that I show you tonight. So when you do have your pattern and you want to look at this video again, it will work together. The pattern will show you how to cut out your pieces. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces and a piece of clear vinyl. I hope you can see that. It's pretty see-through, but you'll have a little piece of clear vinyl. If you have cork at home, it's easy to use scraps up. If not, we're making up kits that will include a little piece of vinyl and the cork you need to cut it out properly. Okay, once you have it all cut out, the first thing you're going to do is make a window. And you're going to take a little ruler and you're going to mark 1/2 inch from the edge. And you're going to take, I like a 28mm cutter because anything larger is too easy to get past where you want to go. So you're just going to go in, cut along here, but not up to the 1/2 inch mark at the edge on either side. You don't want to cut through. You're just making the window. You go around all 4 sides, making a little 1/2 inch cut. And the 4th one. Once you've done that, take a nice pair of scissors that are sharp to the point and clip it right out to the edge. And do that on all 4. If you have any little hairs, like I do, get rid of them now. But I'll show you a trick for hairs later, if you happen to have any extra. So you're going to do that on all 4 sides, and that will make your window. Then you're going to take your vinyl. We're going to imagine that this is cut out. I'm leaving it like this so I can show it the evening of Schoolhouse. You're going to take your vinyl, line it up inside, and you're going to use glue to glue it. I tried a couple of different glues. One was the Acorn Precision, the Seam-A-Line. And I thought it was going to work well, but it didn't because it was just too watery and it was absorbed by the fibers in the cork, in the backing of the cork. So then I went to Aleene's Fabric Fusion Glue, and it's more the consistency of Vaseline. It's quite thick. And so it just sits on top here. Put your glue down, and it won't dry immediately. It does take time to dry, and it won't hold until it's dry. So feel free to put a book on top of it or some Wonder Clips around the edge to hold it in place while it's drying. Put it aside and let it dry. And then we're going to go on to step 2. We have the window done, all glued. You can see the glue in here. It's holding, it's been drying. This one's been drying for weeks now, so it's good and dry. And we have our 2 pieces. When you cut out those smaller rectangles, on the back of the pattern is a shape to get these tops cut. You can just take a chalk pencil and go around that and then cut that out. And the same with this one. You can cut a second template if you like, but it's just as easy to put the top of it against those edges there and trace your V. And then you have those ready. And next step is to top stitch 1/8 of an inch from the top edge on those V edges. For step 3, you're going to make a mark 1/4 inch up on one of your bigger rectangles, 1/4 inch up from the bottom, and this is all in the pattern, so it'll be easy to read along and find out what those measurements are if you forget. And then put that bigger V'd piece right up against the straight line, right up against that 1/4 inch mark, and top stitch 1/4 inch from the edge to hold it exactly in place. You don't even need glue for that because it's a pretty easy fix. The window is going to go together. We're going to put them right sides up, both of them right sides up. So when you look in that window, you're going to see the purple behind it, not the black. This part of the black will be the inner pocket where I had my bill. Okay, the next step is to glue that little rectangle. We're going to glue this because it has to line up on 3 sides, not just one. And we're going to glue that down. And you can see, well, I don't know if you can see, but there are little dents from my Wonder Clips there. So if you don't want that, you can either take a business card and cut it up and put it under the clip, because the teeth of the clip sink into the cork and make those little marks. If you put a little piece of fine cardboard there, it will prevent that. So that's just one tip. We have this glued. Once it's nice and dry and ready to sew, you can stitch along. No, we're not going to stitch that yet. We're just going to glue it for now. And we've got this. It's been top stitched around the outside edge 1/8 of an inch from the window. And now we've glued it like I showed you before so that the colored side is up. So now we have the pieces ready to make our final pouch. The window piece, the piece with the card holders, and they're going to go together, wrong sides together. That felty feel is going to go inside. That's where your bills are going to go. And then you're going to glue this. Make sure you line it up carefully on all 4 edges. Put some glue down on 3 edges. Do not put glue where you want to put your bills or you'll never get your bills in there. So you'll glue it, put a weight on it or some clips, let it sit. Once you've done that, guess what? You're almost done. You're going to back stitch here and go down not 1/4 of an inch. You won't get your cards in if you go a full 1/4 of an inch. You're going to go less than a scant 1/4, almost 1/8 of an inch, a little between 1/8 and 1/4. And stitch around that outside edge. Once you've done that, it will be all finished, more like this one. And then you're going to take, I would suggest using a really big rotary cutter. If you have a 60mm one, that would be the one to pick with a nice sharp blade, because in some places you're going through 5 layers of cork. And you want to trim it precisely all the way around, as close to that stitching as you can get without, of course, hitting any seams. Once you have that done, it's all finished unless you have some threads hanging out. You see that little thread? It's not a thread that I've stitched with. It's a cork thread. And you'll find them, see if I can find one that's a little more hairy. Cork will do this over time. The little threads start to work away. If you take a lighter, can you see this thread? Just burn them away. You can do that all along the edge. You can do it piece by piece if you like, or you can wait till it's finished. There's a few here. I don't know if you can see them, but I can. The cork doesn't burn, just the little threads. Once you have all of your threads, let's get that one and then I can seal it up. Once you have your threads all trimmed up beautifully, take a little dot of this thick sticky glue, just a dot, and you can go around the outside edge very carefully. One little swipe on each edge and you've got it all sealed up and you won't have to worry about any more threads. Okay, I told you that the acorn seam-align glue didn't work for that pouch and on the cork, and I didn't want you to think that, oh, I'm never buying that because that doesn't work. It works amazingly well on cotton, particularly when you set it with an iron, so I'm just going to show you how wonderful this product is. Not for cork maybe, but certainly for your piecing. So if I had two pieces that I wanted to put together and I didn't want to bother with pins, make sure my head's out of the way here, I'm just putting little tiny drops here all the way along. Another one there. Line up my pieces wrong side or right sides together. Give it a little press to make it stick. And it will stick like this, but if you give it a shot of heat, it's going to stick much nicer, much more nicely. So there it is. If I pick it up, take it to my sewing machine to stitch, I just want to show you that it's not going to fall apart. It's going to stay together and be ready to stitch. If, however, I decide that, oh no, I don't like the way I lined that up and I want to move it, it's totally easy. Can you hear that? To pop it away. It's a wonderful product. It's particularly great if you're piecing something that's really fussy, like a triangle to a seam with rectangles. So what I would do first to do that is I would look here, pull that back, get the seam down further. I want it in line, but I want to make sure that that line is in the center of my little triangle. Okay, so I'm going to pop a pin right at the crosshairs just to hold it while I grab my glue. I'm going to pull it back a little bit. I hope my head's not in the way. Put a dot of glue there, there, and you can continue and glue the seam if you like. The rest of the seam, little dots. And then when I take it to my sewing machine, remove the pin, I'm going to set it with heat. Then when I take it to my sewing machine to stitch, if I pick it up by mistake like this, instead of carefully with it all together in one piece, it's not going to go anywhere. When my presser foot hits the top, see, I didn't line that up very well. You would do a better job than me. When you're stitching it down with your sewing machine, nothing's going to move because it's glued all the way along and it's going to stay perfectly in place. So don't discount this. It's a wonderful product. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you found a few little useful tips to keep your accuracy in check and enjoy making some of those pouches and your brown bag mystery. Thanks for watching.